What's good, Wrestling News CC family? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the biggest stories in sports entertainment. And oh my goodness, do we have a massive story for you today that has completely shaken the WWE universe to its core. If you thought the Bloodline saga was complicated before, you haven't seen anything yet. Because what went down on Friday Night SmackDown was absolutely insane, and I'm still trying to process everything that happened. Before we dive into this earth-shattering story, make sure you smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell because the WWE landscape just changed forever, and you don't want to miss a single development in this incredible storyline. So here's what happened, and I kid you not, this is going to go down as one of the most shocking moments in WWE history. We all knew Roman Reigns was building toward his return. We've been seeing the signs, the hints, the subtle references to the original tribal chief making his comeback. But nobody, and I mean nobody, saw this coming. For months, we've watched Solo Sikoa try to establish himself as the new head of the Bloodline. He brought in Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, to be his enforcer. He recruited Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa to fill out his version of the faction. Everything seemed to be going according to Solo's plan. But here's the thing about the Bloodline that Solo never understood, it was never really about him. It was never about his vision or his leadership. The Bloodline has always been about Roman Reigns, and on Friday night, the original tribal chief reminded everyone exactly why he's called the head of the table. Jacob Fatu, the man who was supposed to be Solo's ultimate weapon, made a choice that has sent shockwaves through the entire WWE universe. And Solo Sikoa? Well, let's just say he did not take the news well. Let me paint you the picture of how this all went down. SmackDown was building toward what everyone thought would be a typical Bloodline segment. Solo Sikoa was in the ring with Jacob Fatu, addressing the WWE universe about their dominance and their plans for the future. The crowd was already buzzing, but not for the reasons Solo expected. Then it happened. Roman Reigns' music hit, and the arena exploded. But this wasn't just Roman making a surprise return, this was Roman Reigns making a statement. He walked down that ramp with the confidence of a man who never really lost his throne, just temporarily stepped away from it. The crowd was on their feet, the energy was electric, and you could see the shock on Solo's face as his cousin made his dramatic entrance. But what happened next was what nobody saw coming. Instead of confronting Solo directly, Roman walked straight to Jacob Fatu. The two men stood face to face in the center of the ring, and for a moment, the entire WWE universe held its breath. These are two of the most dominant forces in all of professional wrestling, and everyone expected a massive confrontation. But then Jacob Fatu did something that stunned everyone into silence. He took off the Bloodline shirt he was wearing and handed it to Roman Reigns. The symbolism was crystal clear. Jacob Fatu was acknowledging Roman as the true head of the table, and he was ready to stand by his side. The crowd went absolutely insane. This wasn't just a reunion, this was Jacob Fatu choosing Roman over Solo, choosing the original tribal chief over the pretender to the throne. Now, if you know Solo Sikoa at all, you know he's not the type to just stand there and accept disrespect. And from Solo's perspective, what Jacob Fatu did was the ultimate betrayal. This was the man he brought into WWE, the man he trusted to be his enforcer, the man who was supposed to help him build his own version of the Bloodline. Solo's reaction was immediate and violent. He started screaming at Jacob Fatu, calling him a traitor, accusing him of being weak and disloyal. The veins in Solo's neck were popping, his face was red with rage, and you could see the genuine hurt and anger in his eyes. "You were supposed to be my enforcer," Solo shouted, his voice cracking with emotion. "I brought you here. I gave you everything. And this is how you repay me? By bowing down to him?" But Jacob Fatu just stood there, calm and collected, next to Roman Reigns. He didn't respond to Solo's outburst with anger, he responded with something even more devastating, indifference. It was like Jacob was saying, "Your time is over, Solo. This is where I belong." The tension in the arena was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Every fan in attendance knew they were witnessing something special, something that would be talked about for years to come. Then Solo made the mistake that proved he was never really cut out to be the head of the table. He charged at Jacob Fatu, trying to attack him from behind while he was standing next to Roman. Big mistake. What happened next was a masterclass in why you don't mess with the bloodline when Roman Reigns is involved. Solo's sneak attack was intercepted by Jacob Fatu, who caught Solo mid-charge and delivered a devastating Samoan drop that echoed throughout the arena. But it didn't end there. Roman Reigns, showing why he's been the face of WWE for years, followed up with a thunderous spear that nearly split Solo in half. The combination of Jacob Fatu's power and Roman's precision was absolutely brutal to watch. The crowd was going wild, but you could also sense the shock at seeing family members attacking each other with such intensity. This wasn't just a wrestling match, this was a family civil war playing out in front of thousands of fans. As Solo lay motionless in the ring, Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu stood over him, and Roman grabbed a microphone. What he said next sent chills down every wrestling fan's spine. "I never left. I was never gone. I was just waiting for the right time to remind everyone who the real tribal chief is. Solo, you thought you could replace me? You thought you could build your own bloodline? You were wrong. There is only one head of the table, and his name is Roman Reigns." Then Roman looked directly at Jacob Fatu and said, "And now I have the most dangerous weapon in all of WWE standing beside me. Acknowledge me, because we're just getting started." The immediate aftermath of this segment was absolute chaos. Social media exploded with reactions from fans, wrestlers, and industry insiders. The hashtag Bloodline Reunion was trending worldwide within minutes, and wrestling news outlets couldn't publish articles fast enough to keep up with the story. But beyond the immediate shock value, this reunion has massive implications for the future of WWE programming. Roman Reigns is back, and he's not just back, he's back with Jacob Fatu by his side. That makes them arguably the most dangerous duo in all of professional wrestling. Think about it. Roman's strategic mind and championship pedigree combined with Jacob Fatu's raw power and unpredictability. That's a combination that could dominate WWE for years to come. For Solo Sikoa, this has to be the ultimate humiliation. He tried to build his own empire, tried to establish himself as the new leader of the family, and it all came crashing down in a matter of minutes. Not only did he lose Jacob Fatu, but he lost him to the very person he was trying to replace. The psychological impact on Solo cannot be overstated. This wasn't just a business decision by Jacob Fatu, this was a public rejection of everything Solo represented. And for someone as proud as Solo Sikoa, that kind of humiliation is going to fuel some serious revenge storylines. Looking ahead, the possibilities for this storyline are absolutely endless, and that's what makes it so exciting for us as wrestling fans. We're looking at a completely restructured bloodline dynamic with Roman Reigns back at the head of the table and Jacob Fatu as his enforcer. But what about the other members? Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa were conspicuously absent from this segment, which raises questions about where their loyalties lie. Are they going to stick with Solo, or are they going to follow Jacob Fatu's lead and acknowledge Roman as the true tribal chief? And speaking of Solo, you know he's not going to just fade into the background. This kind of public humiliation is going to drive him to desperate measures. We could be looking at Solo recruiting new allies, making dangerous alliances, or even doing something completely unexpected to try to reclaim his position. The championship implications are also massive. Roman Reigns is undoubtedly going to want to reclaim championship gold, and with Jacob Fatu by his side, he has a much better chance of success than he did before his hiatus. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this storyline dominate SummerSlam, with multiple matches involving different members of the bloodline and their allies. The potential for multi-generational storytelling here is incredible. Based on everything we've seen in WWE's historical patterns, I have several predictions for how this storyline is going to unfold. First, I think we're going to see Solo Sikoa go completely off the deep end. The humiliation he suffered is going to drive him to make increasingly desperate and dangerous decisions. I also think we're going to see other WWE superstars forced to choose sides. The return of Roman Reigns with Jacob Fatu is going to create ripple effects throughout the entire roster. Some wrestlers are going to want to align themselves with what appears to be the winning side, while others are going to see this as an opportunity to take down the Bloodline once and for all. The Usos are going to be particularly interesting to watch. They've been caught in the middle of Bloodline drama before, and now they're going to have to decide whether they support their cousin Roman or try to help their other cousin Solo recover from this devastating blow. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a series of matches that determine not just championships, but the very structure of the Bloodline going forward. This could be a storyline that spans multiple pay-per-view events and involves dozens of wrestlers. As we wrap up this incredible story, I have to say that WWE has absolutely knocked it out of the park with this storyline development. The return of Roman Reigns was always going to be huge, but pairing it with Jacob Fatu's betrayal of Solo Sikoa has created something truly special. This is the kind of storytelling that makes professional wrestling great: complex family dynamics, shocking betrayals, emotional investment, and the promise of incredible matches to come. The fact that it all feels earned and organic rather than forced makes it even better. Solo Sikoa's reaction to Jacob Fatu's betrayal was genuine and heartbreaking, even as it was infuriating. You could see the real hurt in his eyes, and that's the kind of emotion that creates compelling television. Jacob Fatu's decision to align with Roman Reigns makes perfect sense from a strategic standpoint, but it also adds layers of complexity to his character that we haven't seen before. He's not just muscle anymore, he's making calculated decisions about his future. And Roman Reigns? Well, Roman proved once again why he's been the face of WWE for so long. His return wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement that the throne was never really vacant, just temporarily unoccupied. What did you think of this incredible Bloodline reunion? Do you think Jacob Fatu made the right choice in betraying Solo for Roman? How do you see this storyline developing over the coming months? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one and love hearing your thoughts and predictions. Don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Wrestling News CC for more exclusive wrestling content, and ring that notification bell because this Bloodline story is just getting started, and you don't want to miss a single development. Until next time, this has been Wrestling News CC, and remember, in the WWE universe, family loyalty can change in an instant, but championship gold is forever. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. If you thought tonight's story was wild, trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. So don't stop now. Click on the video right here on your screen to continue the chaos, the drama, and the inside scoop only we deliver. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and join the Wrestling News CC family, where the real stories of WWE come to life. See you in the next one.